talk to you about my 10 minutes today is really a little bit about myself. I'm very new to the group, so what I want to do is basically tell you a little bit more about myself so you can refer me with confidence, what I can offer, how I conduct my business, and a little bit about the Zing experience, how we differentiate ourselves from other mortgage broking companies. As Nicky said, I was brought up in banking. I worked for Lloyds Bank for 20 years. I started off processing cheques, and over a period of time I climbed the ladder and was appointed branch manager of a prestigious city branch at the age of 26, which I was really proud of. After that, I looked after a portfolio of high net worth clients for the bank, and then in my latter years I looked after small to medium sized businesses, dealing mainly in commercial lending and property lending in general. My desire was to really get back into financial services, and last year, whilst working full-time, I gained my qualifications for becoming a mortgage broker, and as you can see, I'm fully qualified. I'm extremely passionate about what I do and very, very committed, and my job is really to provide a first-class service for the clients I deal with. What I'm looking to do is really build long-term relationships, so I'm not a here today and gone tomorrow kind of chap. I'm here for the long term, to look after people's long-term plans. I'm fully independent. I'm not aligned to any one lender or company. I'm contracted to the clients that I'm dealing with, and my job is to get them what they want. I also offer from the whole of the market, so anyone that supplies mortgages, I can provide them. Our strapline is beside you all the way, and that's really because I work through the whole of the home buying process from start to finish, and I proactively manage the application from the moment that an application is completed right the way through to completion. I'm there every step of the way for my clients and make sure that everything goes through as smoothly as possible. What actually is it I provide? So mortgages for first time buyers, people buying their first home, people that are moving, either looking to upsize, downsize or relocate. Try to save people money by remortgaging, so looking at a lower cost product. Build property portfolios, and there's one thing getting a property, there's another thing keeping it, so I also can provide protection policies such as life insurance, critical illness, income protection, and buildings and contents insurance to cover every eventuality. The way I work is when I meet a customer, it's generally over a minimum of 2 meetings. The first meeting is purely information gathering. So what my job is to do is to undertake a fact find. That's to gather all of the hard facts about the client, to make sure I've got their income, their expenditure, basically get a grasp of their whole financial position. What's also as important on the first meeting is understanding what their aspirations are, what they're trying to achieve, what do they actually want. It's important for me to both put those together to make sure that I'm providing the right recommendations and giving the right advice and ultimately providing the solution. When I come back second time round, it's really after I've done all my research and looked into everything as a whole, I come back and present what my recommendations are and why I've chosen it, and basically justifying what I've recommended, and I collect all the required paperwork and also complete all the documentation to get the thing moving. So how do I source your mortgage? Why do I choose a particular mortgage? Well, what I do is I've got a system in place where I get all the information from that fact find, I put it into my piece of kit, and it sources all the products that meet fit in that particular circumstances for the client. From that, I know that by experience there's a number of lenders that won't lend in this scenario, so that I strip them all out. And then what I do, I draw a list up of all the products that are the lowest cost. Lowest cost, it might seem simple enough that you might think the lowest payment is best. It's not always the case. There's things to consider are the interest rate, the monthly repayment, the arrangement fee, the valuation fee, and there are loads of hidden charges. So what my job is to do, I go through a fine-tooth comb that over a given period that I'm making sure that the list I draw up is the lowest cost overall, so I take everything into consideration. And then once I've got that list, I then go to the lowest cost first and then contact every lender until I'm satisfied that I'm confident that the lender will lend to that client. So having selected the product, I then get an agreement in principle. Effectively, that's putting all the data into the in front of the lender, and also at that point is when a credit score is carried out. Providing that's all acceptable to the lender and we've got the agreement in principle, we then complete the full mortgage application. This is really where the process begins and everything gets underway. And that's effectively completing the application form and collecting all the documentation. Then I'm generally asked for evidence to make sure that what I've told the lender is true. So I'm generally asked to provide things like payslips, statements, anything the lender wants to see, I provide that to them. They then ask for a valuation to make sure that the property is worth what they think it's worth, and to make sure that it's adequate security for the lender, so the place is not falling down or there's no issues around it, and that if they do need to call upon it, they can sell the property to recoup the money if required. And then providing that the lender's very happy with the documentation that's been sent through and the valuation, that's when it's underwritten and then an offer's produced. And once the offer's produced, that's really saying that the bank will lend you the money. So why come to me as opposed to your bank? With the new regulations that come in, you need to be fully qualified now. Whereas you used to go into your bank and used to get XYZ bank would say, here's XYZ products, choose one. And that's the only products you can have. Nowadays you can't do that. You need to be qualified and need to provide advice and give a recommendation. As a consequence of that, you can wait up to 3 weeks for an appointment for your bank. When you get there, the appointment times can range up to 3 hours. You can only choose one set of products. You're restricted to office hours only, so generally speaking you're going to have to take time off work, which is not always ideal, or take time out of your busy day. And then the paperwork goes into the process. It goes. The person you see sends it off to the processing department, and there's no ownership of that. If for whatever reason the mortgage is declined, you have to start the process all over again. You've got to do the same thing with another bank or then come to a broker. But there's implications on your credit file if you do that, because if you keep searching on your credit file, when you do get the actual product that is right for you, you might not get it because you've had dents on your credit rating by many searches. So what I'm able to do is I'm able to meet a time and location to suit. Generally take about an hour to an hour and a half in my first meeting to get all the data. I can do evenings or weekends. I can offer mortgages from the whole of the market, as I mentioned before, so I'm not restricted. And if, in the unfortunate circumstance, the mortgage declined for whatever reason, I can really switch it quickly to another lender, so I'm saving time and then haven't got to go through the whole process again. Zing, the Zing experience. Why come to us rather than any other mortgage broker? We're not a one-man band. We've got a vast amount of experience within our company. We've got 8 advisors. So if there's something slightly unusual or something that's a little bit tricky, there's bound to be someone that's come across that before, and therefore we can use our advice experience to overcome that very, very quickly. We've got an admin team that do a lot of our chasing, so they contact the lenders to make sure that they're processing things quickly and timely, and also solicitors to make sure that everything's moving quickly and to get various updates so we can pass them back to our clients. One of the things that when an appointment is booked, we send out a pack, this pack, and what the pack contains is information about the meeting, all the things that they need to collect to provide to me at the meeting, so no one's scrambling around on the day. There's a budget planner in there, and overall it looks professional. People really have a shorter time these days, so the meeting that I have can be more effective by having this, because they can get everything ready and prepared in advance. We also got a fantastic piece of kit that's really unique in so much as that throughout the whole process we update everyone. We update the clients at every opportunity, the estate agent, solicitor and the vendor. When things do go get a bit quiet, people do get a bit twitchy, people want to know what's going on. So what we do, we try and take the pressure out of the situation by keeping everyone informed and everyone knows what's going on. So every milestone on there, all those points, everyone gets an email so they know what's going on. And also if there's something that's outside of those milestones that people do need to go about, we can send a one-off email to everyone so everyone is aware of what's happened and what's going on. And as I say, people are happy that things are moving in the right direction. We contemplated sending flowers or bottles of wine to people that move in, that have just purchased their house, but the only problem with that is it lasts for a week or two, or if it's the wine, it's probably that night after a stressful day of living. But what we provide is a home emergency moving in box, which is over here. So when Craig turns up with his removal truck, it's going to take quite a bit of time to unload that. So that makes sure that all the essentials are in there, so you can make a cup of tea, you've got all your cleaning equipment, everything is in there to get people settled in much quicker. And again, the box is there that can be used as probably a toy box or something like that. And again, it's just that little touch to make us different from our competition and demonstrate that we look after our customers. And that's it. So, if anyone got any questions? Julie.
Absolutely love that idea. That's brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you. I've been reading the papers online and everything, the impact that the new legislation has had. Have you noticed the drop in mortgage applications since that's happened?
Not a drop in mortgage applications, a drop in mortgage, an increase in mortgage people being declined. What's happened is that now there's a lot more stringent checks being taken place. They're looking at lots of things like affordability in general, so things like gym memberships, all that gets taken into consideration now. And so what we're finding is that because of the greater checks have been taking place, at this moment in time, no one really wants to make a decision. And so underwriters are very nervous about agreeing mortgages that are slightly outside the box. So we do get there, but sometimes it does mean maybe sometimes 2 or 3 applications. John?
You just mentioned gym memberships. What's that got to do with anything?
Basically what it is, it's looking at affordability as a whole. I'd say gym memberships, there's also gym membership, they look at travel, look at childcare, they look at all that sort of stuff. What they're looking at is the overall affordability. Whereas before they would look at things like loans, credit cards, maybe maintenance payments in terms of your outgoings to prove the affordability. They're taken a lot more into consideration now.
So if you're a member of a gym, it's a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, it's good as far as being healthy is concerned, but as far as a mortgage, it impacts on your affordability. Because what they're saying is that if you've got a £50 a month gym membership, then that's £50 a month that you're spending, and that goes into the overall equation.
Okay, so then the real question is what about self-employed?
Tough one actually. What you need to produce now is the days of self-certification have gone. Self-employed have to provide financial accounts for the last 2 to 3 years, or their SA 302s, which is the self-assessment proof of earnings for the last 2 or 3 years. So the only income that can be considered is income that is basically proven and is tax deductible. Okay.
Just a testimony from Tony, really. We're going through exactly what the process. I'm in the middle of trying to buy and sell a house. Applied for our mortgage with Tony at the time of the change to the law in April. It was a nightmare. It's been a bit heavy, isn't it? But it's been good in the sense that Tony's has gone through every stage very carefully, and he has reported back everything. I can only credit Tony for that. He's been brilliant. He's been a very, very good guy all along the route. Eventually had a mortgage application agreed a couple of weeks ago. It took about 7 or 8 weeks. It's still a long, but
It does,
the process where he's now, he's very detailed. But I've got a testimony for you there today, so thank you very much. Really brilliant.
Cheers.
And we're referring you, what's the best thing we can say to someone who's looking for a broker or whatever?
I think it's really the personal side of things. I can only really, I sell mortgages as much as other brokers do. But what I try to do is try and be personable, try to put people at ease, and really walk through, be sort of with them all the way through, and to make sure that it's as painless as possible, and to keep them informed.
This is more sort of testimony really. I work with Paul, Tony, they have fantastic systems in place, and that's what enables them to be really efficient, keep everyone up to date. There's a lot of mortgage brokers out there that don't, so they might have the plan to keep you informed and to do everything at the right stages, but they don't have the systems that Zing do.
Fantastic. All good?
Someone else? Someone else want to ask a question? Tony.
One more question, now one more.
Well, I was just going to say, similar thing. One of my best friends, Karen, just bought a house. She's very nervous about the whole thing. Slowly sorted it out, and I asked her for a testimonial because I knew he was doing this, and she said he's lovely. The other thing is she's obsessed with cleaning, so she's going to think it's Christmas when that's